Well, hello, Good Vibes Show fans. Welcome to episode 11 of season 15 of the Good Vibes Show by me, Jerry Helly, part of the Special Chronicles Network. Hope you've all caught up on season 10 episodes 1 through 10, as well as season 1 through 14. Their recaps, season recap specials, and my special, The Road to 2022 USA Games, which talks about my training, excuse me for a second, up to the 2022 Special Olympics USA Games in Orlando, as well as my experience and my results from it. So yeah. So I apologize briefly for pausing in my intro. The itch something, aka my mustache, because there was an itch. So this is the ad-libness of the Good Vibe Show, folks. So yeah. Now, right now, let's go into the theme of season 15. So season 15, for those who have, you're now tuning in this super late in the season. I don't know why you are, but people do that. It's all around the Good Vibe Show. So we've talked about all the great aspects. We're talking about the seasons. So now most we're now on seasons 11 and 12 talking about today, in which those seasons were also themed, as I noted in last week's episode, was around things. So obviously season 11 kept the ammo theme going because I chose it to go that way. I think it was kind of unique to keep going with that one. And I know some people wonder why you did a second season. And I was like, I thought it was cool to do. And actually, I had more animals to work on. So yeah, I think it was worth doing. And I know some folks thought like, oh, but it was redundant. Like, no, it's not. It's just something different. And I know some people take the opportunity to notice that, yeah. And I know some people may be noticing, because I just noticed in myself some weird noises while during these recordings, is like sometimes I do have a chair that creaks every so often. So I do apologize for that for everyone. And I may hit something weird. Or in last episode, I actually had to pick up the notebook and move something. So yeah, just saying that. So that does actually happen sometimes in the shows, but I try to avoid it, folks. But I think it actually happens quite a bit. But actually, that's not the point of this episode. So anyway, season 11 kept the ammo thing going because I just wanted to keep going with it, and I thought it was cool to do, and it was worth every second of trying to figure out more ammos. I think it was a little bit more complex to pull off the first season because I had an idea. Second season, yeah, there were more animals to work with, and looking at it, because I'm actually glaring at it right now, it's like, huh, I already came out with half of these ideas, but then like, might as well do them. So yeah, that's what I did. I stuck with them and I worked with them. That's how season 11 worked, and it was just like how season 10 worked, was just going with ammos more. But like, it was sometimes different ammos throughout the show, obviously, and I think there were some ammos that may have appeared or referenced once or twice in the show. But yeah, I think it was all knowing that. So like, obviously, I'm constantly briefing, glancing at it again, knowing at my famed notebook that I did make an appearance in the video version of last week's episode, but you will hear me reference it in the audio recording. So yeah, and so season 11 was all about us talking about animals again. It was just a continuum and more different animals to talk about. So yeah, it was a fun episode. But next season, which was season 12, focus on STEMI, and those, excuse me again, folks, was actually sort of talking about a behavior that a best way to say it is a motion or something that people do to sort of self-regulate themselves. And I know I do quite a bit of them there, in which I was just talking about a lot of the STEMI things there, and I'm glancing at it, which actually I'm gonna pick up the notebook very quick, and I'm not sure if you can see it, unfortunately, because their lights are gonna blind it out, and unfortunately I can't. But like, some of the things on this, because I'm gonna read it off right now. So I apologize for those who can see. It's like, one was talking about what generally STEMI is. I did tapping, rocking, pacing, humming, grunting, staring at lights or rotating objects, rearranging objects, flapping hands, cracking, twirling, and grinding teeth. So yeah, Larry, I'm gonna put this notebook now. You may hear a noise and you hear the chair creak, folks. So yeah, that happens, as I said in the show. But yeah, I just listed off everything that happened in it. And it was one of the more fun ones because those were a lot of things I do, and I think I was trying to bring more awareness on STEMI in season 12, and I think it worked out well. And most people might appreciate it, might not, but I think in the end it works out. And honestly, it was the best thing that could have happened with season 12. And I think the timing of it was just right because I felt it was important to talk about it at the time. And I know there was a lot going on in the world at that time that eventually did cause issues with things, but like seasons 13 and 14 sort of reflect on dealing with those matters eventually. I'm gonna talk about those next time, obviously. But like, yeah, stemming was a big thing. Obviously, you see me doing this talking, which is kind of like my way of stemming sometimes, but it's also my way of talking with you folks. So I think it's just a very unique thought process to actually finally talk about it. I'm not sure. I believe that season was one of the more well received ones. I think throughout the years and seasons, most of them were well received. And I think they're more uniquely done that way. So yeah, that's how they are. And I think it's kind of impressive to note that hey, this is kind of a fun thing we're doing. And I think is a very good way to emphasize on some things that people need to talk about. And I think some people just don't take that opportunity to appreciate it. And I think it's important to talk about such subject matters because it is important to talk about stemming and such. And I think some people, it's probably talked about on our podcast and everything, and I probably was the one who kind of put a positive twist on it, maybe, but I'm not the only one who's ever talked about it. But yeah, focus a full season on it, I might have been the one person. So no commentary on that, but it could have happened. But yeah, it was just something I felt I wanted to do, and I felt it was appropriate. And I think it's one of the more self awareness seasons I brought because obviously in back in the last episode I talked about neurodiversity because I talked about elements of it throughout the shows, but then I focused a full season on. So like this is actually a season I decided to focus on the merit and it was worth it. And I think folks kind of in the end appreciate it because I know I'm repeating myself, which is actually a stemming routine too, by the way, folks. Demonstrating stemming live to you on video or in recording. So yeah, it's a thing that stood the test of time. Not really. It's only been barely 2 years come later this fall that season happened. But I think it's one of the better seasons that was appreciated, and I think it's very strong. And I think it was kind of one of those eye-opening seasons that was worth it, like neurodiversity theme season. So I think it was a good one, folks. So if you ever want to listen to season 12, I highly recommend it. So thank you again for tuning in for episode 11 of the Good Vibe Show by me, Jerry Hulley, part of the Special Chronicles Network. Here's our great sponsor ad from the Special Chronicles Network to wrap things up today. The Good Vibe Show is proud to be featured on the Special Chronicles Network. Visit specialchronicles.com for links to follow on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Be sure to also subscribe to the newsletter and find the podcast page for this podcast, The Good Vibe Show by me, Jerry Hulley. If you love The Good Vibe Show, then you love the other podcasts on the Special Chronicles Network. Visit specialchronicles.com for links to subscribe to our podcast, newsletter, and to follow us on social media. And to support the podcast on Special Chronicles so we continue our mission of giving respect and voice to people with special talents and abilities. Visit specialchronicles.com/give to make it today. So, folks, as I say, remember you can always remember to follow the Good Vibes Show on Instagram at Good Vibes for Age, Facebook, facebook.com/Good Vibes for Age, YouTube, same thing. Just put YouTube in place of Facebook, youtube.com/Good Vibes for Age. Also, subscribe to the Good Vibes Show by me, Jerry Hulley, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts from. If you want to support me, I gladly recommend you all checking out me on Rebel, Jerry M. Hulley. I have over 130, I think it was 130 designs. One of them is the Good Vibes Show flower that's I'm wearing currently on this Hawaiian shirt, which I'll talk about. Like, obviously, people like, you like wearing Hawaiian shirts. Like, yeah, it's the thing. It's my thing. So I thank you all for tuning in for episode 11, folks. So I hope you all have a great week. Until next week, everyone, peace out. Boop, have a great week, everyone. I hope you all stay positive and have good vibes. And I'll see you next week for the season 15 finale, aka episode 12 of season 15 of the Good Vibes Show by me, Jerry Hulley, part of the Special Chronicles. Until next time, stay positive, everyone, and bye, everyone.